Hello, everybody, and happy Monday. Hope you're all doing very well. This is Marianne with Happy Paper People, and with me today are my friends and co hosts, Candy and Debbie.
Hi, ladies.
Hello. Happy Monday.
Hope everybody had a great weekend and ready to get your crafty self going for this week. I'm looking for a binder clip that's big enough to hold this book. I thought those were, and they're tiny, so they're not working. So, okay. So, today, what we are going to do is look at punches. I'm hoping that we are going to share with you a few ideas of different ways, creative ways to use your punches. Everybody, it seems like, has at least a punch or two, even if you only have the basic ones. I'm not going to use any fancy punches today. Everything that we do is going to be with basic punches so that whatever you have, you can use. If you've just got circle or square punches, you want to be able to do a bunch of things with those and not have to have a bunch of fancy things. All right, I'm pulling YouTube up. Give me just 1 second here. So if you want to play along, grab some scraps of paper. I've got a bunch of scraps here, which I kind of need to organize and move off to the side so that you'll be able to see what I'm doing. Got too many scraps. And let's find our there we go. And our videos, here we are. We are live. Let's make sure we are muted. Perfect. Okay. You can use book pages, music pages, sprayed pages, gel print pages, scrap cardstock, scrapbook paper, whatever it is. You could use anything. We are only going to work off of scraps today. That's another one that we were going to do, ladies, is a mass make. How many of you would like to do this? I would like to do this because I'm going to do it anyway, so I just thought it'd be fun to do with you. I'm going to do a mass make where I just sit down with all my punches and pull out all my scraps. And I just sit and punch a bunch of things out of my scraps and put them into separate little baggies so that they're easy to grab and use. It will use up a bunch of scraps, get things out of the way, and also prepare me some stash to use, by having things in baggies. Is that something you'd be interested in doing on a mass make Thursday or not? Because I'm going to do it, whether I do it alone or whether we do it together. It'd be a fun just hang out and, do something easy. Hang out and chat, catch up on stuff, eat ice cream, whatever you want to do. But that kind of day. Any response on that? Pulling out scraps. Okay, got the scraps. Punch fodder. Let's see. Hey, Margie, how are you today? Good to see you. Hey, Laura. Who else is here? Hi, Julie. Hi, Toby. Never close those in the house. What to do? I thought I saw. Hi, KK. KK, I had a message come in from you just before we went live, and I haven't had a chance to look at it. I will do that. Hey, Glennis. Yeah, you just listen and rest. Rest your tired self. Margie's been meaning to do it, but have to get all my scraps in one place. So, yeah, I'll grab a bucket, get all the scraps together, and just sit down with the bucket and a bunch of punches, right? I need to do that. So, Candy, Debbie, you guys want to do that on a mass make day, or is that
Absolutely?
I think that for me that would make very good use of my time because I need to do it. So let me get my drink over here. All right. I don't need this. I'm not going to bind any books right now. Let's see if I can get that to stand up. So Is there anybody here that does not have a punch? At least one punch? A circle, a square, and maybe if that's the case, you're watching because you're thinking about getting punches. And all right, I think we're ready to go. Today's hashtag is hashtag Monday Jumpstart Paper Punches. Monday Jumpstart Paper Punches. Hashtag Monday Jumpstart Paper Punches. To just put out a bunch of things on your desk, take a picture of everything that you punch out, and post that picture in the group. Use that hashtag, please. Okay, so I have, I started punching out a couple of things. Is my camera in an okay position there? Yeah, I guess that's okay. As I smack it and it bounces around. I got a lot of scraps. I tried to sort them kind of by size so I could get the appropriate size when I need it. But let's see here. I want to start with a basic circle punch because there's a lot of things you can do with a basic circle punch. And honestly, if I only had one punch or could only have one punch, it would be a circle punch. Because not only can you punch a circle, but you can use the circle to make a lot of things. Y'all know you can punch your half moon for your thumb pole, whatever you call those. I'm not sure. I don't know. What do you call those? But a circle is just really versatile. So start with a circle punch. Let's see. I've already punched out some sizes here, variety of things. So a lot of you saw, Debbie, let's start with your flower. A lot of you saw the pictures that Debbie put of her paper clips in the group and saw these adorable little ones. I'm going to make you big. I should say, I'm going to put you on solo screen.
Yeah, I'm already big.
You saw these cute little flowers and wondered how she did them. She did this with a circle punch. And how many punches? 5?
5.
5 circles. And then she just put you tell him.
Okay, this came from G. Kerr, this idea. And so what what she did is she used a little punch and then put the 5 on it. But I think it doesn't have to be a small circle. It could be just a scrap.
The same size.
Just so you have a base, and then it's the 5 circles. And then this was the leaf on this one was a circle punch that it's the same circle punch as the rest of the flower. I just cut. Here's a corner tuck. I just cut little leaves.
That's cute.
The same circle punch. So
that's very cute. Yeah, I don't know that I would necessarily even worry about a smaller punch. That's very pretty.
Thanks.
I mean, a smaller one, because if I cut 6, I could use 1 as the center. It's never going to show. Oh, that's pretty.
So here I made a little corner tuck.
Little flower cluster, a little circle punch flower cluster.
Right.
That's pretty. So that's super easy. Guys, we're going to do paper clips one more time because we're going to do them on a Saturday night. And it won't necessarily be specifically a mass make, but it'll be more of a tutorial of here's how to make 4 or 5 different kinds of paper clips, ones that we didn't do last week. So some completely different things, some that maybe are a little more in depth. So, we need to have some time to look at it and go step by step. We'll do that on a Saturday night coming up. In fact, what is that? The second Saturday of this month, the 5th, the 12th? Is that the 12th? I think.
Yes. Yeah, the 12th.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so we will do that. You can, let's see, you make your own hole protector with circle punches. Yes, you can. The thumb punch. Hi, Tammy. Good to see you. Hey, Dawn. Who else came in? Anybody else use a regular hole punch to get indented edges for faux tickets. Yes. See, there's so many things. What she's talking about, what Dawn is talking about, is making. Oh, I guess I need to come back here to solo. Is you can punch out a little rectangle, and then you can take a regular hole punch, just a standard, not a craft one, and just put it on the corners and punch a quarter of a hole on the four corners and have a faux ticket, which is perfect. So yeah, that's a good one. I didn't even put that on my list because I figured you probably all know how to do that, but maybe everybody hasn't ever heard that before. Okay, so I wanted to first let me mark these off my list as we talk about them, just so that I know we've talked about them, and I won't be going up and down the list trying to figure out. All right, so I have these little stickers that I bought, and look at them. All they are is a circle punch. I'm like, why am I paying for that? I can make that. So if I punch out, use all scrap paper, and I punch out two. I'm going to make them big enough to be able to see. Here's a dark color that would be the outside, like that. And then the next size down, circle punch, I'm going to go to a white to be the inside. And then all I have to do is glue that right there, and then either stamp a number on it, or a letter, or a couple numbers, or a couple letters, or take a sticker if you've got, stickers, peel and stick, or rub-ons, and put that in the center. And so these can be made of any size you want. So this one's a little bit larger than that. So what if I used the size of the white one as my base? That's right about the same size there. So that one's 1 1/4. So that means 1 inch would be the next size down. So if I make a 1 inch white, I can get it into, you laughing at me.
Uh-huh.
Love your honesty. Well, I'm going to go to this end. There we go. Okay, so there's slightly smaller. Same thing, all depends on what size you want it. And you could even go smaller. I could make the outside the size of this one, which would be 1 inch. And then make the inside 3/4 of an inch. That should go in that little spot right there, little space. There we go. So there's an even smaller one. So the concept is the same, just how big do you want to make it? And it all depends on what I'm putting it on. Am I putting it on a little pocket, or am I putting it on a big page, or a folio, or depends, whatever your base is. So, but that concept, they're just printing those and selling them. You can make your own. And you can customize your color. This one's navy blue. You can customize your color, whatever you want to put behind it. So super easy thing to do with circles there. Another thing to do with circles and scallops. Let's see here. I'm going to try to keep some semblance of order here. Scallop. I brought out a scallop here. Let me make a black scallop so it has the dark background. And is one of these the right size? There's a couple different sizes. What size was this anyway? What is the 1.5. Okay, that's 1 1/4. So that's, oh, that's a, okay. All right, so you can take the scallop and put your circle inside the scallop and just get a whole different look for the same concept. So you might want to do this in a print, scrapbook color paper print, and then a solid color in the center. And same concept with this one. Let me see, find a darker, there's a pretty one. Now the background looks like grass. Let's try to use up that. So this scallop is 1 1/4, so I'll go to the 1-inch circle and punch a 1-inch circle. Doesn't have a very big opening in there. There you go. So you can make the background anything you want that would match whatever your project is. Yellow would make a very cute sun. Yep, a lot of Stampin' Up. Stampin' Up punches are great. They're just expensive, but they are great. I love finding them at estate sales when they're not quite so expensive. So another thing you can do with circles is form them into things. Like here, white will show easily, and that's a 1-inch, I think. Let me just make a few more real quick. Is that the one? Or is that 3/4? It's probably 3/4. These EK Tools ones I like too. They're easy to use, easy on the hands and the wrists. Whoop. Don't be throwing them on the floor. Okay, so you can make a bunch of circles of any color. White will be easy to see here on my black mat. And then you can take those and form them into letters or numbers. Just overlap them, and you can overlap them as much or as little as you want. And you can even give them shape. Like we make a 7. We can give that 7 a little bit of shape. It doesn't have to be exactly straight down. Okay, like that. You could make a 1. You could form letters with it. And you can, because this is, kind of like it's kind of snake-like, you can make that have any shape that you want there. So circles are just super versatile because you can form them into anything. Stack them, layer them. So another thing, if you cut them out of book pages, sometimes you want something that has a little bit of dimension to it, but I don't want to stack 10 book pages together and try to punch it because maybe the punch can't handle it. But you can stack, or you can cut out the 10 circles, and I could just glue these all together one at a time, put a drop of glue or a little bit of double stick tape, and then just pile them on top of each other. And then all of a sudden I have a circle that is, a 1/16 of an inch tall. And so then I could color it, ink it with markers or with actual ink from the ink pad, and have something that's dimensional. So you can stack up in layers.
Tammy Minda wanted to see the ticket punch again. She missed it.
This one here?
Oh, you did the ticket.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I didn't actually show how to do that one. Let me do that.
Oh.
I hadn't even, John mentioned it, so I just told how you do it, but let me grab my little paper punch. It's actually just a hole punch. If you have a standard office supply hole punch,
size. Or even have a smaller one, it'll do too.
Yeah. My hole punch is buried at the back of my drawer because I rarely use it. Not that one. That one. There we go. This one right here, regular old hole punch. So then you can take whatever you want to use as your ticket. This would make a good ticket here. And hang on, I'm going to grab my teeny tiny paper cutter. It's about all the space we have for paper cutters today. It's teeny tiny. All right, so you cut your, yeah, it's kind of small, but it'll work. We could go that way. We'll go, hang on a minute. Finding something that's going to give, well, let's do this. This will work. Okay, so we're going to do like a 1-inch ticket. And it's maybe 1 3/4 inches long. It's kind of a standard ticket size. And then you take this just standard hole punch and you put it in the corner, and you're only going to punch 1/4 to 1/2 punch. Yeah, you don't want a full half that goes, well, I don't say you don't want. You can make it as deep as you want. So I would grab some scrap paper and try this to see what kind of corner you like. And it might depend. You might not want the same one every time, but you can make it as shallow or as deep, but it's basically 1/4 to 1/2 punch. Gives you that nice corner. Super easy. And there's your ticket. So you don't really need a ticket punch. And then I have a ticket punch just by default. It came in a lot that I bought from an estate sale, and it has a deckled edge on there. So let's say you want your ticket to have a deckled edge, and I should have done this before I punched it because now it's going to go in smaller. I've got these deckled edge scissors that I picked up at Goodwill. Some of you have deckled edge paper trimmers. Okay, that just makes it look like it's been torn from the previous one. Now I just need to do my corners. Again, that one got a little deep. That's what happens when you get in a hurry. When I get in a hurry, I end up messing up like that. So there you go. So then you have your paper punch with your deckled edges that look like it's been torn from the one before. You can write on it. You can put lines on it. You can draw a frame around it. You know, tickets are so many different ways that you can really put anything you want on it and it's going to look like a ticket. So there's one that I punched out of some writing there, but yeah, I've got multiple ticket stamps and every stamp is different. So I quit trying to figure out here's what a ticket looks like because every one of them is different. So, okay, so we did the scallop on here, and you can make that larger, smaller. Again, you can keep going down in size. You can make the inside circle larger to have just a small border, or you can make the inside circle a little smaller. The outside is the same on these two, but you've got a much larger border on the bottom one. And then just stamp your sentiment inside there, or put a bling or whatever item you want to be the focal point for that. Okay, so let's see. I want to show you, if you have a label punch, this happens to have 2 labels on it, but it's just a label, and it can make the hole up here if you want the hole too, but it doesn't make the hole in the punch, which I like because I just get those 2 labels. So if you have a label punch, and many label punches will work for this, okay, and especially Stampin' Up! Ones. I've had seen a lot of Stampin' Up! Punches that will work for this, definitely. So if you, let me see, I'm going to need some white and I'm going to need some black. I figured I'd do a lot of it in white and black because the contrast will be easy for you to see on here. So I'm going to punch both of these out in the white. So let's say you're making a label. I just keep punching them right to the floor. I'm going to have a whole little pile of punches right by my feet. Except some of them I need. Okay, so if you're labeling things and you punch these out and you stamp or you write whatever, you put on your label, and there's your label. It's good to go. It's white, so you can see what you put on your label. But then you say, man, but it looks kind of white. It needs a little border. How can I easily put a border on that? You can use the same punch, and it's kind of for two reasons. Sometimes you need to take up a little more space because it's too small. Your label's a little too small. In that case, it's kind of an extender. And sometimes, it just needs a border because it needs it for the look. I'm going to see if I can get one more out of this while I'm there. Maybe not. Maybe if I go this way, I can get one. And then see if I can get one of these over here. Yep. All right. Use every bit of that paper. Perfect. Okay. So I make the label and I write, or I print, stamp. Maybe I stamp my, word on there, tells me what the label is. But I kind of like things to stand out. I kind of like a border, even if the space is okay. So I like a black border. I'm going to punch this out of black. Okay, so that looks the same, or it's the same exact size. It's just black. I'm going to take the black one and I'm going to cut it in half. And it doesn't even matter if you cut it straight. Just as long as you cut it in half. Oh, I did not just drop that. Dropped in the trash can, so it's easier to get to. I need to scoot closer to the desk, I think, and so I quit dropping on the floor, but drop on the desk. I'm going to get just a tiny bit of glue. You can use double stick tape, any kind of glue you want. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my label, and I'm going to take the second label that I cut out of black, and I'm going to use it to extend my label or to give it a little bit of border. Is there a front and a back? Which way are they going? That way. Okay. Because they're the exact same size, okay, and then I'm going to take the other end, flip it around, do the same on the other end. And I've now just extended the label to take up a little bit more space, or to give it a border if I like that look better. That would be really pretty on a gift. It looks like a complete label on a gift as opposed to just the white one, right? What if you want a border all the way around? You don't have one on top and bottom. Then I would punch one more, which we did right there. And this time I'm going to cut it long way. Again, doesn't matter if you cut it straight, as long as you start in the center of this one and end in the center of that one. But where you go in the middle, doesn't matter. Because I don't cut very straight. I would put it on the paper trimmer. But I know I can start in the right place, and I know I can end in the right place. Okay, so now I've got the same label. Oh, wow, look at that. That label cut in half makes a really good tab. We're going to get to tabs. But now I'm going to put a tiny bit of glue on that. And I'm going to glue that one. This is really throwing me off, this black thing underneath. I need something white underneath so I can see it. I'm going to put that one. Let's see, I want it to be about the same border size. So there we go. Okay. flip it around, take the other half. Which side did I use? This side. And put that one on. I love it. That's cute. Okay. Checking to see if my borders are the same. If I feel that one's a little bit larger, I'll push it in before I squeeze it tight. There we go. Oops, I just pushed it out again. So there you go, a fully bordered label. And on the back, once you glue it down, you're not going to see the back. So I'm going to glue it onto something. So I just, the same label punched 3 times, once in the white, and then twice in the background color, whatever color you want that to be. One of those I cut horizontally and one of them I cut vertically. Super easy. So that's how to extend. That's one way to extend the label, make it take up a little bit more space, or give it a border. Another one of those. Okay. I don't want to get stuff all over this, but I'm going to leave that right down there. Let's see. Let's do another with this same label. Where are all those circles I punched? They're all there. Okay. So this label makes a nice background. Made a nice background here. So what if I take... Oh, the gremlins are under my desk with magnets to my paper. All right, I'm going to take the label, take a second label, and turn it the opposite direction. I'm going to glue them together. And I just want to center it. So I'm just looking to make sure that it's centered that way and that it's centered that way. So I have about the same amount of space. Probably not the time to be using art glitter glue, huh? You don't have much time to move it. It'd be a good time for Barely Art or any PVA glue. Okay. So I glued them together. And then I'm going to put a circle over them. Not sure what size circle, so I want to grab some of these circles that I've cut. And did I glue that one down? I did. Okay. Grab some of these circles and play with them. I want a little bit bigger circle than that. What is this one? Let's try this one. Do we have enough room there? Not quite. Some more white. I might have to grab some more white scraps. I had a whole other one right there. Oh, here they are. White scraps. Lots of black and blue and white scraps. It sounds kind of funny. All right, so I'm going to grab, here's a good white scrap right here. I think this might be the right size, but I can use scratch paper to try. So you could do a couple different sizes. If I put that circle on there, put it down here, it might be easier to see. I have just a tiny little border. See that? Just a tiny little scallop border. It's actually bigger than what it looks like that far away, but with the 4 sticking out just a little bit more, or if I go the size smaller, I think there's one in between too. That's smaller. And it's a little bit bigger than that. So there's one more size that I didn't punch there. Then can be just, there we go. So I have a little bit more border. That almost looks like a square round. Completely changes the shape of the tag. That's super cute. And that you could punch and hang. It's all closed in the back. But again, if you glue it down. So that's a great way to use two of the same. Now, again, that won't work on all punches, but it will work on a lot of labels. Where's that label here? Let's try. I'm going to punch out a couple more. I looked at that, and because of that round shape, I knew it would work, but I haven't tried the one next to it. So I would just definitely punch these out of scratch paper or book paper, even before this is good cardstock, even though it's scrap. If I put these two together, well, that works too. Let's do that. Get it all out there. It's a little bit different shape. Is that the same one that I used? No, I used the round one, didn't I? Yeah, I did. That's really interesting because they have the similar, or actually the same end. When I put them together, you get virtually the same background. I wouldn't have guessed that because one is rounded and one is squared. I wouldn't have guessed that. But you have virtually the same background. The shape of them, yeah, it's exactly the same background. How interesting. So see, you just have to try any labels that you have, labels, tags, those kinds of things. They work really well for this trick here. And for that one, for the extender one and the border, they work really well for that too. Again, not all will work for this, but a lot will. You just have to trial and error on that one. All right, let's see. Any comments or questions? If you have questions, if you try to remember to put 4 question marks and then type it in all caps, it'll make it stand out a little bit easier to see. But we'll try to keep up on that.
Margie likes punching things, especially her husband, she said.
I do too, Margie. That feels good, doesn't it?
Julie asked if that was 4 put together. 4 punches put together. So I don't know if that was
This
your
one
label.
that I just had in my hand. Wait a minute. Where did it go? These ones that I just had in my hand, that's 2 put together. That's 2 that I just glued together right before your very eyes. I glued 2 of these. This is the same punch. I just put them into a cross and glued them together like that, and they make a round, kind of like a square round. Line them up, and both of the punches on here, even though one is straight sides and one is rounded, because they have the exact same end, when I glued them crossways to each other, 2 of this one or 2 of that one, they looked exactly the same. So that was interesting for me. I didn't know that. Okay, so if you have a 2.5 inch punch, that is an ATC size. So if you have done artist trading cards and you would like to try artist trading coins, a 2.5 inch punch is the size of that. You may want to punch out a bunch of those on some quality cardstock and try doing a little bit of artwork on them. They're kind of fun. All right, let's see. What else can we do here? Let's say, checking the list. Let me check these things off. Punches are going to go a lot faster than the things like stencils for sure. Okay, here's another. We talked about extending it by adding the black behind it, which extends the space that it takes up a little bit. Here's another way to extend punch. I wonder if any of these are. Let me cut one of these that's about, I want to say about 1.5 inches. It's probably. Okay, here's another way to extend a label. Maybe you have, let's see. Won't work on this one because there's two of them there and they're side by side. You'll see what I mean. Here, it's a trick that you can use on a lot of different punches. Just looking for one that would be a good example. Okay, this might be a good example here. See how it's got this nice swirly on the end, and this is a little square label. And maybe you're saying, I really like this label, but I want it to be longer. I want it to be long enough that I can put a whole sentiment in it, but I want it to have these nice swirls at the end just because I really like the way they look. I'm looking for another one that would be. I might not have brought another one over. Okay, so here's what I can do. I can, I can lengthen it and I can shorten it this way too. So I can take the piece of cardstock, and it needs to be the same width as the punch itself, but no bigger, so that it can slide into here. So say I slide it in here, but I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna slide it all the way through like I normally would and punch there. I'm going to catch it in the middle and bring it up here. And maybe I want my label to be almost as long as this paper is here. So I'm going to bring it up, and I can position it exactly where I want it on the end there. And I can punch that. Wasn't super well positioned because I say I'm just a little crooked. I've never done it with this one, which is a perfect example of try it on some scrap paper just so you know how that punch goes before you put in your good paper. And now I'm going to bring the other end in. I'm going to do the same thing. I want to put it in here. If you're left-handed, you can do it on the other side too. It makes no difference whatsoever. But I'm going to bring it up here and I'm going to pull it through. And I'm just going to get that end. I want to make sure, I want to make sure it's perfectly centered top to bottom, because this paper is slightly smaller than this tag is, or label. I want to make sure that it's centered top to bottom so that my little doohickey that sticks out is in the middle and is well centered. Okay, and then you get your scallop on both ends.
Is that in Candy's list, doohickey?
Doohickey.
Need to add that one. Need to add that one.
Add it.
Thingamabob and doohickey.
Thingamabob and doohickey. Those are good words. Now I'm just taking that leftover little end you see, and I stuck that in there on the other side to get one of these. So you could kind of make your own cool parentheses. You could make it even thinner if you wanted, but let's see. I know there's another tag that I could do. All right, this one will probably work. Let's say I want it to be pointed, but I mean, I don't want a hexagon tag like that. I want it to be long, but I want the points on the end. I can put this in here, pull it up the center. I notice my paper's skinnier than the tag or the label is here, so I have to make sure that it's centered if I want it to be equal whoops, if I want it to be balanced and not, skiwampus on the end here. So, okay, there's the point. And then I can flip it over, do the same on the left. For me, it's easier to do them both on the right. So bring the other end up, place it I could have measured, exactly the length that my sentiment's going to take. There you go. And now you've got the pointy. Now, let's say you wanted to invert it. And instead of having the points going out, you wanted to put a sentiment on it. And in the end, you wanted it to look like a banner kind of thing where it came in on the two ends. Let me think. How did I do that? Like that. Instead of pulling it through, I stick it in there, but instead of pulling it through, actually, this one's easier for me to do on the left because I still can use my right hand. So I'm going to pull it through. I want to make sure it's straight right where I want it. And now I have a banner tail. I'm going to go to the other end, do the same thing. There you go. So, you're going to take a little more time, maybe even measure it, line it up, make sure it's right, when you do it for real. But you can print your sentiment on there then, or stamp your sentiment on there, and then you could do the same thing as we did before with the extender and take a black piece or whatever solid color you wanted behind it, punch the same thing, cut it in the center, go out there and extend it out. Do the exact same thing. Or you could just take, that will work. I'll bet that'll work. I'm going to try it. I've always done them exactly the same size, but if I wanted border all the way around, I'll bet it will work to just cut it larger. Well, got to line it up straight. Okay, my paper's bigger than the punch. Okay, and that's why we tried on scrap paper first. So my paper is taller than the punch, so it's not giving me clean right there because it's too big. It's got to be the same width as the punch is. Here. Yeah, see, same thing. So, and obviously I didn't center it very well, or the other side would be the same. But I would take time and play with that and make sure that that was right before. And that's actually way too big. So I could cut the paper down by 1/4 of an inch and put it in there, and it would be just the right size. And then you can mount your sentiment in the center of that with the banner, either the banner going in or the banner going to a point. Easy. Whenever you have two of the same, you can make the background the darker and do it that way. Let's say, all right. So I've got this great little punch here that I can punch out little pennant banners. Is that what those are? Little pennant things with the, well, it's actually this on the end. And let's say that you don't have one of these and you still want a tag like that, then what do? Do you have a hexagon? Instead of putting it in here and it punches that, of course you have to, it's not even the right width. You can have it 1.5, 2, or 2.5 inches. And this is about 1 1/4. So this is 1.5. It's awfully thick. This one is more than 1.5. So it's bigger than, see if I can get it centered. It's bigger than 1.5, but not as big as 2. That's very awkward. All right. Nope. Feels like there's paper stuck in there.
do you know a good way to sharpen your punches? Because I thought you were supposed to, if you use tin foil, and then I saw somebody say somewhere that don't use tin foil to sharpen them.
Well, I've never found tinfoil to be super effective. That's
Okay.
the only reason I would say not to.
Uh-huh.
I haven't had to sharpen a lot of them, but I do have a couple that need sharpening now. And I have, on the couple that I have sharpened, I have used a very thin sandpaper.
Oh, that's smart. Okay.
You can get
Thanks.
sandpaper in different thicknesses, and I
Uh-huh.
wouldn't go with it like a big grit and super heavy, very thick.
Right.
But a fine sandpaper that's a fairly thin paper. That's what
Uh-huh.
I used, and so I'm going to try that on the others that need it now. Okay, so this is bigger than 1.5 inches, so it's going to give me those little border things again on the bottom. But if I want it to be that big, I can easily enough cut those off. If I don't need it to be that big, then I just know that I need to cut my paper down to be that size. So whether I stick it in the pennant punch or whether I use the point of the hexagon or honestly the point of anything. I've seen some, I know Stampin' Up! Has a punch that it's like a diamond, but it's kind of a diamond laying on its side and it's kind of extended long. You know what I'm talking about?
I have one. I have
You
one.
do? Okay. Awesome.
Uh-huh.
Do you have it with you?
Yeah, just a second. Let me grab it.
Okay. That works really great like this. And it actually gives you two different angles, two different sizes of angles because one size is bigger than the other. When she gets back here, I'm going to put her up on the screen so you can see that one.
Is this what you meant?
Yes, that's the one. Yeah. So you can take that, and because that's a lot longer, when you put this in, even if this paper isn't as wide as that, you're still going to get a clean pennant end.
Hey, Buck Hobbs.
Well, oh, hi, honey. No, I haven't even looked at chat. That's what my power people are for.
I just looked up.
I'm not ignoring. Oh my gosh, she's been here a long time. Wow, that's cool.
Sorry.
Oh, whatchamacallit. Sandy, put whatchamacallit on there. Yep.
Yeah, I have that one.
Okay. And 2 diamonds. Yes. Hi, Doug. Don't you hate it when the glue separates and you end up with a mess? Yeah. Let's see. What's up with that, Doug? Doug, is this the only way you get to see your wife in the morning on Mondays? Well, he's at work, so it's not my fault. Yes, he is on lunch. I usually talk to him during his lunch, but because I'm working, he's has to come see us. Sandpaper, but Teresa agrees. Sandpaper, but a very fine grit. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, and she's ignoring you. Yes. No, I didn't even notice. Aluminum foil, I just have not had good luck with aluminum foil. It just kind of gums up. Gum isn't the right word because it doesn't get gooey. It just kind of it
Doesn't do anything.
It gets yeah. It does have for me. It hasn't sharpened it at all, but it gets stuck.
Okay.
It's just a pain. But yeah. So a fine grit sandpaper, try that, but definitely don't go with thick sandpaper and a heavy grit. That's going to be not so good. Hi, Sylvia. Love punches, but I really love my dies. Punches can be detrimental, and always when I need to make stuff clean and precise. What qualifies as fine grit? 500, 1,000. When we finish here, I'll go pull one out, Laura, and check and see. I can't tell you off the top of my head. Doug, can you tell us what a fine grit is? I've got a package. I want to say I probably got it at either Dollar Tree or Harbor Freight, and it's got 5 or 6. I probably got it at Harbor Freight. It probably has 5 or 6 different grits in it, from a heavy grit to a fine grit, and so I don't remember what what it is exactly. Okay, so let me move these out of the way. So there's how you can make pennants. You don't have to buy an expensive pennant punch. Okay, Sylvia brought up a good point that sometimes they don't seem to punch very cleanly. Say you take this piece of paper and you're trying to punch and you get, let's see what happens here, if it works. Well, it worked just fine. Sometimes it grabs it, gets all hung up and stuck and whatever. I believe, it's just my belief, that when it does that, the reason is usually because most of these punches, especially the good ones, are made to cut through much heavier paper than just this very thin old piece of book page. And so it's almost overkill of the tool for this. And if you stack up 2 or 3 and punch them together or put another piece of scrapbook paper, a scrap of scrapbook paper behind it, it will punch perfectly every time. But just one really thin little piece of paper, especially when it's book page that's very soft, often does not punch well in a quality punch because they're just made to handle much more than that. So, okay, let's see, what else have we got here? We did that one. And we did that one. Speak.
Nice, Julie. He's in a picture.
Oh, cool. Just a second. I'll grab that. Okay, so let's see what Julie's punching. Looks like a face. Oh, she did that. Okay, perfect. She took and punched 2 of the same one of a label. Gee, tag border label. She punched 2 of the label. She turned them crosswise to each other and glued them together and then put a circle on top of it. Without even having a new punch, she now has a 3rd type of label. That's really pretty. That ping was me. Julie, quit pinging. Okay, so let me grab. Want to do some things with border punches and page tabs, but let me go to butterflies first. Does not have to be butterfly, but butterfly's big, easy to see, and it's a good example of this one. One of the things that I love to do with punches is use them on the sprayed paper or the gel printed paper. In fact, some of the paper clips I made the other day had little blue hearts on them, and they were from sprayed paper that I had just stacked up. 200 is pretty fine grit, but it also depends on what you're using it for. Okay, I'll go take a look at this before we finish. As we get to the end and we're through these things, I'll go grab my pack, and we'll just pull it out and take a look at it together. These are great to punch, but again, they're very thin. I often double them up when I punch just to make sure they don't get gummed up in the punch. But they make beautiful little elements to put on things, especially if you look at that and you say, man, I'm not sure that I'd really like that, as a page somewhere, but the colors and the metallic is really pretty. You punch a butterfly or something out of that, it's really cool looking. And even stack them up 2 or 3 to get a little bit of dimension. But one of the things that I like to do on the sprayed paper is lay down things that I have punched out to use them as stencils and masks. So let's say you have this butterfly, and when I punch out like this, we just punched out a bunch of circles. I'm going to keep this. because I can set this on the gel plate, and that's going to give me a bunch of circles as marks, which are awesome. I had another one that had different circles on it sitting over here somewhere, but okay, let's say I have, I need a longer piece. It's not very long. That one. It's not any longer. Okay. Then we'll just go with one of these. All right. It's not usually on black cardstock. Could be on anything. Oh, maybe one of these is longer. Hang on. Hang on, Sloopy. Sloopy, hang on. Let's see. This might work. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to go down this piece of paper and punch me out a bunch of butterflies. They're black. Maybe I'm going to use them as silhouettes. Say that again.
I said butterflies.
I know. Maybe I'm going to use these as silhouettes. That's why I want them black. I think there's 2 pieces of paper here. There is. I'm getting twice as many butterflies. I didn't even know it. I'm like, why is that harder to punch? Didn't even realize it. Look at that. Look at all those butterflies I just got. I got a twofer. Without even knowing it. Without even planning it, I got a twofer. Okay, cool. So you could put a white one in front of these and make a pretty silhouette. Okay, so now I have this. I am not going to throw this away. Oh, look at that. That was one long piece of paper. That was that 11 by 17. Okay, so these make great masks. Maybe I have paper in my splat box and it's got a little bit of stuff like this on it. And when it gets like that, then I will just spray it with some more stuff to cover the white spots. But I can take a few of these. Maybe I'm doing a garden themed journal or nature themed or a butterfly themed or a winged things theme. And so I could put some of these butterflies down here or there, knowing I'm going to fold the paper in half and use it as a page in a book. Can set some of these down and let them be masks. And now I can spray it. And then when I spray it and pick these up, I'm going to have the silhouette, and how much you spray it depends on how dark that is. It could just be faint, or it could be nice and dark if you spray a lot around it. But now I'm going to have the outline of the butterfly just on the page, kind of melting into the page that I put in my journal. And the opposite of that holds true as well. Losing that one on the back. That's why I hold on to these for sure. I can cut another butterfly out of the center there, and that'll be one long one. But that's awfully long. I'll probably, actually, that would work on my 14-inch gel plate. Okay, so this is a stencil. Some stencils can be free. You've already paid for it. Oh, no, it's not. There it is. There it is. So you can set this down on your gel plate, or you can set this in your splat box on this paper, and maybe same journal. And so I want the butterflies, but I don't want the same butterflies on every single page or in the same way. So now I'll go and put it up here, or maybe across the bottom, and then I'll spray, or I'll ink, and now I have a nice border of butterflies. If I don't want to see this line, then I'm going to ink it. I'm going to take, sorry, did not mean to bump that. I'll take my sponge dauber, put it in my ink, and they could each be a different color, and just ink up each one as I go down. When you pick it up, you've got all the butterflies with nothing else. If I like the border and want it to look like a wallpaper border up there, then I'll put it just like that in my splat box and spray. And then I have the butterflies with the border. You could do that on the top and the bottom. Okay, so in my journal that I want butterflies, I've done it as a mask. Now I've done it as a stencil. And then I can take the individual ones that I cut out and either make white ones, make them silhouettes, or do some color on this. If you got any of the metallic markers from the last sale, these are awesome for things like this. You take the metallic marker and just go right around the border, the whole outside of it. That looks so darn cool. Even the black with the metallic gold or silver pop right out in your book. Really amazing. So you make one row of punches, 4, maybe 5 butterflies, depending on how big your page is, or not how big your page is, depending on how big your punch is. And you've now got 3 ways to use it in one book, or obviously in multiple books. But if you wanted to be able to find a variety of ways to put butterflies in one project without just putting, punching a bunch of these and putting these on every other page, and that's all you have. Now you've got stencils, masks, and the actual butterfly themselves. So don't throw away your outer punches when you get something cool like that, a line like that, or if you get something that has good dots. And you could do this on purpose. When we're mass making punching, I'll take this and I'll punch all different sizes of circles out of it so that I can end up with a good size page that has circles of a variety of sizes. And again, use that for spraying. You could put it across the corner, and so that when you spray, you just get a little bit of that mark making there. You can have a couple of these, and you could put them in different places on your gel plate and roll your paint over them, or spray it on your gel plate. That works too. Or alcohol ink, or any other number of things that you might be using on your gel plate. Watercolor, same thing with this one. Whole another punch, same concept. But this one, there's 2 things that I like about this one. Well, there's a lot more than 2 things. But there's got lots of gunk on my paper today. Okay, so if I do this one,
Wait. Julie says she's still looking for those marker pens, those foil marker pens.
These?
Well, Julie, you've got $50 gift certificate.
Exactly. Julie, you can have those free.
And we just have to wait to be able to ship them to you. As soon as we can ship them to you, we'll ship them to you. As soon as
they'll let us get them across the border. Okay, so when I punched that out, I got a little close to the edge and went off there, but it makes a really nice butterfly outline. Okay, and there's multiple ways to use this. I can use this in black over, let me grab a really good example here. I have some paper that I was playing with alcohol inks, trying some different techniques to see what would work. Don't like them well enough to use them as they are, but if I put that over and cut it out around it, it would look really cool on the page, or something really bright like that. That would look really cool on the page. Or I could cut it out of this. Okay, so messing around with some foil techniques to see if I could get the foil to stick and how that would work. So it's just really kind of a scrap page. But if I cut it out of this, or cut it out this butterfly, I'm not going to see that. Now try to catch these little parts and pieces. All the little wing things come out. If I cut out that butterfly out of it, you're not going to see at all. The only bad part about the one that has all kinds of little things is sometimes they get hung up there. Doesn't usually happen with this one, but this paper is photo paper. Okay, come on, butterfly. He's halfway out. Hang in there. Something thin, something thin. Hopefully I don't destroy him. Come on, flutter by. Yeah, the photo paper was sticking to it. Oh, I cut off his wing. I do that all the time. But you know what? I keep him because when I put him on a page, I just either put a rhinestone or something up on the end of each one and it covers it, or I put the butterfly, you know, we layer things all the time. You can put that edge right off the page. It's, you know. Anyway, yeah, that's photo paper, so it was getting hung up there. But now you see these little shiny strips through there, but you can't see that I was playing with foil. You know, and put that over the black. That looks really cool. So it's nice and shiny. So the other thing that I do with this punch in particular a lot is book pages, not book pages, magazine pages. And I had a whole package of them here. So if you're looking at a magazine page, I'll just grab the magazine. Got a whole bunch already cut out, but so you're looking at a magazine and you're looking for some things to cut out, and you're like, well, this actually, anything that comes in the mail that has ads in it, Costco magazine, anything that has ads in it works. Anything that has color works. So this is an old magazine that's going to be cut up anyway. But I'll find something. There'll be something that has, I'm looking for one that like typically we would get today. A person standing by a car with a picture of the mountains and, you know, the nice long road that they're going to be driving on. That's a really common picture. And this was not a good choice of a magazine. Did I grab 3? Is that the only one I grabbed? Anyway, so look at that and you go, wow, well, there's nothing on there really to punch out. But the colors are great. There's great sunset colors, but there's only a tiny bit there. And then there's the guy's head. And then, you know, he's got a pretty color shirt on, but there's only a little tiny bit of it. Well, if you put this punch in there, and what I found is that even the color of the skin adds super nice contrast. You don't know it's skin when you punch it out on here, but you get the sunset color, the color of his shirt, the color of the skin, and it all makes super cool. Let's see. Nothing in here is like the colors that I would want. It's not going to be a great example. I want something that would be a good example. Maybe I can find a better. Paper crafting magazines are probably not the best example, are they? Okay, here is Holiday, Better Homes and Gardens Holiday Celebration. Maybe this is, here we go. Land O'Lakes Butter. These are pretty colors, especially for fall. But, you know, what am I going to do with Land O'Lakes Butter in my projects?
Eat it.
On my projects.
Butter.
But I do like the colors.
She didn't say add, she said butter.
Butter. Nothing wrong with butter.
Nothing wrong with butter.
I miss the butter.
Butter. Well, I'm just going to start punching a couple of them because they're great colors. But there's not a particular image here that I would punch out. Now remember, book page is really thin. Not book page, magazine page. Why do I keep saying book page? It is really thin. So this particular punch and I know that this is going to happen sometimes, and I'm okay with that. This particular punch, every single one of these holes punches out, and sometimes they don't fall out. If they fall back in or stay there, then they get in the way of the butterfly that's trying to get out. See, some of them didn't even punch all the way through. So I know then that I might need to double up the page. I might need to double up the page to get through it a little bit better. Let's try that. Hopefully that will work. Oh, well, it doesn't even matter where. Let's just do it. I'll try to turn it over and get some of those little guys out before I release it, and it doesn't help that I have it upside down for you because I'm actually making them fall back in. That punched a lot better. Are they both there? Yeah, a magazine page is so thin. So I really wouldn't want to put that ad in, but the colors on that butterfly are really pretty. The back is white, so nothing there I really want, but that's really pretty colors right there. They even have a sheen to them. So I would use that. Let's see what we got out of the Land O'Lakes. Almost looks like the Arizona flag, doesn't it, Dawn? A lot of similarities. So there's some pretty, oh, you know what? Look at that. Little shiny from that cookie cutter right there. Let's see what we can get. We'll try to turn it right side up and see if that helps to get the butterflies out easier. Did they already fall out? Did they fall out and I can't see them? Where did they go? Where did they go?
We can't see them on your messy desk.
I know. It did fall out immediately and I couldn't even see it, and I'm trying to shake it out. Look at that. You know, somebody looks at that, they're not going to know what the ad was or that it was an ad. Some are better than others. This one is just colors. It looks like maybe even a sprayed or gel printed page. This one looks a little bit more ad-ish because you can see some edges of things. So I use this one a lot to cut out magazine images purely for color. Oh, don't throw them on the floor. That doesn't help. Let's move some magazines. Why do I always end up with a big mess to clean up after I spend time with you guys?
Because you're a crafter? Because it's only fair. It's only fair. I mean, because, you know,
it's only fair.
We do.
Yeah. What kind of answer is that? It's
and,
only fair.
And I can always send Chunky to help you out with your mess.
Oh, yeah.
Because not only is my desk a mess.
Oh, no. What did he do? What did he do?
Let's
now?
see. He dumped some ephemera boxes. I got little ephemera pieces everywhere. He got them quicker than snot.
Oh, man.
What else did he get? Oh, he loved my bling bucket. Yeah, I have bling everywhere.
I'll bet he did.
He liked to carry it around and sit on it, and then he'd open it.
Well, he was, as long as he wasn't trying to eat the bling.
No, he wasn't trying to eat it.
Good.
He likes to dump things. He did help me pick up some of the stuff though. So.
Oh, good.
He likes to help. So.
And we played pickup so that he could dump them again.
Yeah, that's about
why
it.
He wants to pick them up so that they're there to dump again. Yeah.
So we weren't in here very much because he was just into everything. But he played. You know, you give him something to play with. He played with that for like 2 minutes, and he'd be like, "Oh, I don't want to do this because you want me to play with this."
Of course. And I don't want to play with what you want me to play with. So you give him the bling bucket and tell him, "No, you cannot have that rattle." Yeah, and he'll go, "Okay."
Yeah.
Kid's not stupid.
No, he's very smart.
Yeah, that's part of the problem. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm looking for a good piece of paper to do the border technique.
Oh, Janet's here.
Hey, Janet.
Okay, I'm not even going to attempt to say her last name.
Versace bomb.
Versace bomb?
Oh, I like that. It's a Versace
bomb.
Janet, is that
Are we close or are we way off?
Yeah, is that even close to correct, Janet? Versace bomb or Versace bomb. Oh, you got the best name ever. No wonder you hyphenated. I would have too if I could get Versace bomb. Oh, that's amazing.
Oh, she says that's correct. Wow.
Yay!
Wow. You're good, Marianne.
Versace bomb. I like your name, Janet. Janet, you must join Happy Paper People. You've got a great name. Okay, I'm going to put you on Debbie and let her show you a belly band that you can make with a border punch. While I grab a piece of paper that would really. Are you? Sorry, I gave you no warning there.
Right, I already put the border punch away, but I can show you what I made.
Okay. Yeah, that's okay. You can just tell them how you did it. And while I grab a piece of paper to show you something else with a border punch.
Okay. So this was my border punch, and I just flipped it around and did it on the other side. And kind of the trick, or what I do, is in my length of paper, I put the punch on and punch in the middle, and then move it to either side to finish it off, to get it even, so your pattern's even. And the clue is to put, when you move it one way or the other, you're putting it over. Let's see if I've got something to it'll show on. You move it.
On it, don't they?
Some do. The one I did this morning did not.
Oh,
and so
that's
what
weird.
I did is I just moved it to one side until this pattern showed up underneath, so it filled up the underneath, and then I punched again, and then I had little leftovers from punching, and so I used the leftover right here and right here to make this little tuck pocket like this. Wrong paper to show that on. Let me grab white here. There. So I just made a little tuck this morning when I was playing with these.
That's cute.
Yeah.
That's
so that's
super
what
cute.
I did. And of course you can make these as long as you want. I just, again, I told Marianne no full piece of paper was harmed in this experiment today. It was all my scraps.
Only scraps. Yep.
Yeah. So
that's all we've used in anything so far.
Yep. Just picked up a piece of scrap, and then I was kind of like trying to make a bunch of things to go. So there's the band, and here's a flower that matches, and here's some little tags that match.
Oh my goodness.
This was just out of circles and the back side of one of these papers.
You can make like a little target out of the circles, and
yep, just to make a
sentiment
bling. Yes, I haven't got that far yet.
That's cute.
So there, that's what I did. Here's a tab punch. What else did I do? Oh, here's another one.
Cute.
What?
Yeah.
Little tab punch is cute.
Yep. There were two here a minute ago.
I'm going to show you some tricks with tab punches.
I don't know what I did with the other ones. There were two tab punches here, but not sure where it is. Okay.
Okay.
I wasn't ready for you.
Everything we've used today has been scraps, and I call this a scrap only because it's not a full sheet of paper. Not that it's really a scrap, Margie. It's just not a full sheet of paper. So that's why I'm referring to that as a scrap. Oh, hey, thanks for putting the link to the group in there for Janet and anyone else who might come in that's new and wants to join Happy Paper People.
Crafting with Miss Kristen.
Hey, Kristen. Good to see you. Yeah, she's been here before. Guys, if you're new and you're going into Happy Paper People in the Facebook group, let me tell you the trick, the secret. If you answer all the questions, it will let you right in. You won't have to wait for admin to go in and admit you. So just kind of a secret. answer the questions. It's not a big deal. The reason for the questions is to make sure that you're not bots, that you're not lurkers, that you're not, the weird people out there. So we know you're not, but it's the only way we can keep those kinds out. So, all right. So I just trimmed up. It had a torn edge on it, and I just trimmed it up. And let's say I really like this old music paper, and I would maybe want to put it into my book. Maybe I want to fold it in half. It's just kind of boring like it is. Or the other thought is, you know how we like to take doilies and put doilies in our book, either on a page as a background and we put other things on it, or we put it in the fold if it's a large doily and use it as a page. You can make your own with the border punches. And I just pulled out 2 border punch. One is a Martha Stewart. And all you do is take this and start punching. Now, most of them, be easier to see on the white here. Most of them have a mark. So if I punched this one and then I bring it out, how I'm going to know where to slide it in. I want it to be right next to this one. I know that's shiny, so it's glary. So I'm going to put the first punch right here. The next one needs to line up. Hang on a minute. I can't see because I'm not overhead. Okay. The first punch needs to line up with that one, half a one that's drawn there. And the rest of them will line up exactly on top of the others. It's hard to see when you're not overhead. I can't do that with my left hand. There we go. Whoops, I didn't put one underneath. Oopsie. Didn't even do what I said. All right, let's start on this side. Okay, so I would just take that and I would cut this. This is how I save this. I'm not going to throw this away. It's usable. I have a little bit of border over here, and there's a larger center. I'm going to make a border over here exactly the same as that one. Well, not exactly, but pretty close. Okay, and then I'm just going to cut that on the paper trimmer. Everything is savable, and everything is usable. I think I'll make that a little bit longer, because that could be put over something. Okay. So then when I trim that off, now I meant to do that. Yeah, that's the ticket. I meant to do that. Now I've got like a little fence for real. I could put that over something else that's, not so great on its own, but needs something over it, covering it. Or it could be part of a tuck. It could be a decorative part of a tuck. But back to this, let's start over again. All right, so I'm going to put my paper in here, and I'm going to start right there. Now, when I move it down, I'm going to make sure that the last one, I'm going to get more on top of it this time. Make sure that the last one is right where this blank space is, and the next one goes over. So the second one needs to go over the one that's drawn. And when they line up perfectly and it's against the wall there, push down, and then I can just bring it down, same thing. This one will go over the blank space. The second one will go over the one that's drawn that I only see half of. And there's a perfect border. How cute would that be, like a curtain or a flip up in a book with that as the bottom, even if it was shorter. Even a waterfall, and have each one have a little lace on it. But as a doily, it's probably easier to see on the white side. So then you just turn around and go all the way around it. So here is an example with this out at 2 in the morning. Here's an example of going all the way around it. This side has polka dots on it. So maybe you like the polka dot side. This side is white. Maybe I would have already stenciled on it or something, but that is this one. And I just went all the way around the paper. So if I put this in my project, in my book, and I fold it in half and put it in between pages, so it's kind of like a page, It's a page with a shorter. I like it when the papers or the pages are not all the exact same size. It's kind of a surprise when you turn the page and there's something different there. Okay, so that's going to go in my center. So when I look at it this way, that's super pretty on the next page, against the next page. I'm going to have the polka dot and that border, and then I turn the page and I'll stencil or spray. Maybe I'll spray on this side and can put things on there. And then on the back half of the book, this will come out the other side because there will be other pages in between. That works with any border. So you can make your own doilies. Now we're not done with that one. Here's another sample example. Here's the flip of the reverse of the polka dot. I'll show you on the white side though, because it's easier to see. And this is a much smaller border punch.
Pretty.
So maybe you wanted to leave it as writing space in the book, a smaller border punch with a lot more writing space, or you wanted to be able to put things on it, but you still like that doily look. You can create your own doilies. And you know what? You could do that with other punches as well. If you have a small heart or a couple of small butterflies, things like that, you can punch them all the way around. It's just super easy with a border die because you're getting a couple inches at a time. So that one's pretty small, but this one has large enough holes in it that another thing I love to do with this one, oh, look at all this nice confetti I've created. Another thing I love to do with this one is use it as mark making when spraying or on the gel plates. So this actually would work for that. This one that I cut off. Take this and lay it down on the gel plate. It now acts as a stencil and a mask. You can, this whole thing, if I put this on the gel plate or if I put this in the splat box and then sprayed around it, I would get two things. I would get this with a nice spray all over it. Then when I pick it up, the paper underneath it would have a nice spray. It would have the doily pattern on it, and then it would have the white or whatever color inside that could be left for writing. So again, 2-in-1. But I love using these as stencils and masks. So I'm going to keep these because I'll definitely use it. They're paper, so they don't last. They're not going to last forever unless you laminate them, or, well, I can't laminate them. You're going to lose your holes. I guess you can spray them with stuff. Candy, you've done that, haven't you? Spray the paper with something to make it last.
Yeah, stencils that way.
But, you know, since I have the border punch, I'll just cut it out again. But you could spray it to actually turn it into a stencil and make it last a whole lot longer. Okay, let me get rid of some of these, and then we're going to talk about page tabs, because everybody loves page tabs, and not everybody has a tab punch. In fact, that very cool whale tail tab punch that has been discontinued, that now and then shows up on eBay for $60.
60. I thought for like 92. I was like, what?
Holy cow.
You're crazy.
Being conservative.
I wrote him he was crazy. I said,
that is totally crazy.
I did. I said, that's a ridiculous price. He, commented. I said, that's a ridiculous price. Brand new, you could have bought it for $25.
Right.
I said, that's ridiculous.
And you can't get it, so I can.
I don't care. I don't care. I ain't paying $90 for it.
No, I agree, and that's a little much. So you actually don't need a tab punch to be able to punch tabs. Did you know that? Tammy has the whale tail. Oh, I would love to have the whale tail, but I don't. I
have a cricket. I just made my shape.
There you go.
I do have this one, but I don't always want the tabs that look like this. Sometimes I do, but sometimes I don't. So let me show you a few different things. Okay, so if I put this in here and I punch, so I first put it in, I punched a tab, and I'm like, okay, so do I have to punch a second one and then glue them together? I don't want to do that. I like when they go over the top and they're folded on the top. I don't want to have to glue it together. To me, that just, I don't know. I don't want to see that it's glued together. I wanted one piece that would fold in half, right? There is an easy way to do that. If you take this should work, even though this is heavy cardstock. Let's try it. Doesn't even have to be heavy cardstock to make these when you're doubling them up. Okay, yeah, that's really heavy. So you're already seeing the white underneath it. So that wouldn't make a very pretty tab because of that. Let's see. This might be better. Is it long enough? Not long enough. Or wide enough. Let me find. There's got to be another scrap here. Give me one moment, please. Ooh, this would make a pretty tab. All right, so we'll fold this in half. I'm going to put the folded end. Where am I putting the folded end? I'm putting the folded end outside. No. Yes. I have lost my ever-loving mind.
Again, you have to have one to lose one.
It can't be super wide.
Well, Margie, we figured you would have the tab punch because you're older than dirt. It's like you said. You were what, 300 years ago? Didn't she say 300 years? She's been crafting for 300 years. Isn't that what she said?
When it was invented, right?
She said 300 years. She meant 30 or something.
Yeah, she did. Okay, that's not going to work because it's too short. You won't be able to see what I'm doing. Oh, come on. There's got to be maybe this one will work. Is it going to be wide enough? It'll be wide enough. Okay. I really like this one. This will make a very pretty tab.
Teresa's having trouble posting her waterfall journal in the group.
Uh-oh.
What trouble is she having? She needs to.
Teresa, yeah, ask her, not me.
PM one of us. Well, you're Marianne or me.
Candy or Marianne.
Yeah, not Debbie. She's not computer savvy.
Teresa, if you're having problems, private message Candy or me. Probably a better shot to private message Candy today or tomorrow because I'm running out the door when we're done and have a schedule that is just chaotic for the next couple of days. So, okay, so I folded this in half. I want to make a tab. I want it to be folded on the top so I can put it over a page like this and glue it on right there, right, and have it stick up, and I want that fold up there. So I'm going to take this. I like that end. I want to tab it.
Yeah, I'm always off my meds, Margie.
I'm going to stick it in here. Now here's the key. You have to pay attention to which side of the tab is the top. There's the bit longer side and the top side. And it's the shorter side that's the top. So I'm going to go to the top here and I am going to put this in, but not quite to the top. Can you see just that tiny bit of gap? Look at that right there. See that gap up at the top? I'm going to get it as close as I can to that without it touching because I do not want it to cut the top. And then when I squeeze it, it cuts the bottom. It cuts out my tab, but it didn't cut my fold. And now I've got my tab that is folded. You can do it the other way and glue it. That works too. But, on Etsy, how much are they on Etsy, Tammy? Everyone I've seen is super expensive.
Yeah.
Pay no attention.
No, she's talking. You can buy the tabs themselves on Etsy.
Oh, the tabs? Yeah.
Yeah, they've already cut.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kate, you don't have this tab punch, right? I pulled this out to show you. This is what we all think we have to have. I didn't have that for a very long time, and I still make tabs. Here's how you make them. Let me find a couple of punches.
You
have a cricket. Tons of punches will work. And you don't have to have a cricket either.
You can do it with an oval and a round one. Will make
this works perfectly.
Similar whale tail.
This one works perfectly. And it's going to give me a really pretty little thing. Now, if I turn my paper over and put the fold on the inside, then it's the bottom that I don't want to touch. Okay? If I put the fold on the top side, then it's the top that I don't want to touch, that I don't want to stand or to punch, to touch or to punch. So I'm going to Bring this all the way down. My fold is on the top. Come on. It's thick cardstock. The fold is having a hard time going in. Work it in there. Work it, work it, work it. Maybe. Or don't use such thick cardstock, maybe. I do like strong tabs. I don't like them to get broken off or bent, so then they don't stand up. I just bent the paper. Okay, so I'm going to come down here. I'm going to go to the end so I can try to get several of them out of it. And what I'm going to do, see the 2 points in the center on the right and the left? The yellow paper is right at those points. I am trying to line it up. So the yellow paper is exactly at those points, the same on both sides, right in the center of the point. Then I'm going to punch. And when I punch, then this is my tab that's going to go like this. So I've got a little design down on the bottom. This is the part that sticks up. Now, if you don't want this little point sticking out here, you can just trim it off. But you also don't even have to punch it. You can, oh, now it's going to be hard because there's no paper left to grab hold of. Instead of bringing it right to that point, bring it right below that point. I'm going to bring it right below that point. And there we go. I don't have that big point. So you can do that with, you can do that with almost anything, literally. So you don't even have to fold it. Honestly, you can, but you don't have to fold it. That's not big enough for that one. Where's my postage stamp? Here's my postage stamp. Okay, here's one that I like to use as a tab. I've used this as a tab quite a bit. I'm going to make 2. And this one I do glue together because I like having the postage stamp all the way around it. Oh, I just had one sitting here and I just put it away because it's been floating around my desk. But I will take this and I will glue it onto the page or onto a tag. I love this on a tag, and then the tag sticks down in the pocket like that. And it's the postage stamp. And so I might even actually do a faux postage stamp here or a real postage stamp when I do punch that. But that one I will just glue together and use it like that. You can also, let me see, find some scrap paper that's not super thick. I've buried it all. Here, these guys should work. Let's say I like the scallop. It kind of goes
Mousy
with...
Deb's here.
Hey, Mousy.
I think Lucy came in too. I think I saw her name scroll by.
Somewhere. Okay, you can take, and you can make these any size you want. So if you're doing a teeny tiny journal, you can make small ones. If you're doing a large, a standard size journal, then you want a fairly large. This is probably 1.5 inches. And make a tab out of a scallop or a regular circle. I use the regular circle a lot. I don't always want it tab shaped, but I use this one a lot. I use the 1.5 inches. And if you want, you could score it to make a nicer fold, just, in a hurry. This is not good paper to show because the paper's showing the white center. It's tearing as it. But then I glue that on, and there's your tab. You could, where's the hexagon?
The oval makes a one too. The oval, you can make it almost like the Stampin' Up! Whale tail.
Here's another. That's true. There's another good.
The oval and a circle. I don't have a big oval. I only got a little one.
You can double up that square and use that. This one is a scalloped oval. So if you don't want a long tag, maybe it's not a large book, and you don't want it quite as long, there's a scalloped oval that works great. I don't have an oval here. I don't think I even have an oval, a big enough oval. I don't think I have any oval except the scallop, honestly.
Oh, I have.
This makes good sense.
I have the 2-inch, but it's not quite big enough. It'll make a little tab, but
not quite big enough. Another
well,
one that would be cute is the tickets. Just
it makes it close. I'm just saying to make it close to a whale tail.
To-
It makes
to
it
the whale
close to a
tail?
whale tail.
side. Okay. The ticket, like we did, just cut out a rectangle, hole punch, quarter punch the 4 corners, and make it look like a ticket, and then glue 2 tickets together. Or if you like the folded top, make the ticket longer. You can make the ticket as big as you want. Actually, for a tab, I'd probably make a ticket like this. I'd make it a lot bigger. You could decorate it like a ticket. You know, you could stamp it and do all the things like a ticket. And then when you fold that, it just looks like, you could make it look like you're using an old ephemera ticket as your tab. That stands up a little bit high, but you can, you know, how high you want it, measure how much you want to fold over, you know, or have down the sides, 1/4 inch or whatever, and probably, you know, that long would be about right. Go ahead,
Ladies,
Candy.
she's not blurry at the moment. She's been blurry, but you guys might want to check your settings on YouTube and make sure you're up at 720 and not 480.
You might want to, because I'm not seeing blurry on YouTube or.
No, me neither. Oh, you want to see the whale tail version? Oh, well, I can show you. I don't use it because it's too tiny, because I don't have the big oval, but yeah, here, okay. I'll show you.
Here, let me put it on you full screen.
Where's my circle punch? So you take your oval and you cut out your oval. And it's better if you got the bigger one. I've only got the 2-inch one. You fold it to get your halfway mark. Then open it back up. There's your circle punch. Take your circle punch and line it up like mine has that center. And you're just going to cut out a piece of it on each side.
Oh, that's great. It does look like.
And then when you fold it,
whale tail.
It's close to a whale tail. Okay? And cheaper.
Yeah, it is. So
I
don't have an oval punch, but maybe an oval die. Maybe I have an oval die. I don't remember.
Make them. Yeah, you can make. I have a cricket, so I cut them out on the cricket. Yeah. But if I had a bigger punch, I'm looking for a bigger oval because I'd like to be able to do it on my scrap paper. Because the only thing about doing it on the cricket, you got to do you want to do a full sheet instead of wasting your paper. Right. So.
144 to 480.
Yeah, you see, it should go higher.
Can you change that to 720 or 1080?
Yeah, take it off of auto because auto will take it down.
Yes, it will take it down to the lowest possible. You want it always to be on 720 or higher.
Yeah, it's probably YouTube weirdness or something with your computer because it should go up to 1080.
Yeah, if it's not even giving you the option of higher than 480.
Yeah,
problem. Yeah, that's a fantastic idea, Candy. Love that idea.
Well, I used that until I got my cricket.
You know what?
And I didn't come up with that, lady. So I saw that on YouTube somewhere when I first started, and I was looking for that punch, and I saw that they wanted like 80. I was like,
oh, yeah. You're like,
no,
you're nuts. You're nuts.
Yeah.
So sometimes we make just little tags, you know, that are going in somewhere, and maybe you cut something off and, you know, put something here, and maybe you just needs a little something, or maybe it's a solid color, and I think this probably has more impact on a solid color because this already has some texture to it. But any punch that has a little hole on the end there, which it's like a half circle. This one has it in the corner, and it's a deeper circle, have circle in the corner. The scallop, you wouldn't be able to get one alone. You're going to get 2 or 3. There was another one that does. You can take this and put it right, neither side's going to show so well. Put it right in the center, and you have like 3 options there. But if you go right in the center, can't even tell if it's centered. I need to get on top of it, and you punch that. You're going to have just a little notch. And like I said, on a small ticket that is not centered, on a small ticket that is solid color, that looks pretty cool. But that is also a good corner if you're doing ticket corners. If you don't happen to have a regular hole punch, anything that has a round like this, you can use on those corners. So maybe instead of just that single one, you could go add the next layer. To me, that just looks a little weird, but some people like it. But then you could go the 3rd layer and get all 3. It's not showing up very well in the wood grain. Harder to see. I like it better on a small tag, solid color. Let me do this. So let's just say we've got like a 3-inch tag. It's just a small tag, and you just want to put it. Well, let's try this one. Let's get the paper out of it. This is just a square. Got it from somebody's estate sale. This one I'm going to go to the corner, and I want the corner in the middle here. I want the corner to be in the center. So let's see. Okay, and I'm just going to get only the corner. This one's a little deeper. Ha! I'm not even centered. So I don't know how to see center, obviously. It's really hard when you're not on top of it. So I'm going to do 3. Let's see if I can make that part of the center. I don't like the with 3. It doesn't look right to me. But you could go even deeper. Go to the corners. Okay. Ski Wumpus. You've heard that commercial. Ski Wumpus. So now you're making a pennant that has whatever you call them. Inverted scallops. I
don't have that many punches.
Yeah, you can do a lot of things just with where's the tiniest, the littlest circle I have is 3/4.
I used to think I had too many dies until I saw Debbie's wall. I'm more of a die person because they take up less space. But yeah, most of my punches are butterflies, flowers, and I have a couple borders and like the ovals and the circles.
This to me is a good ticket end.
Yeah, that is.
So all that is a 3/4 circle, just taking out a little bit of it. It's a great ticket end. Or you can actually see it there. So, and I pulled out a few to show you. Maybe you think you have to have this, but you don't. You can just do it with, a regular normal die or normal punch. Really, if you've got a circle die or 2, and see, those just make good ticket.
Yeah, ends. Circles and ovals to me were the best because I can't cut out a circle.
Right, I can't either. And you can do so much with them. They really are. Okay, Candy, can you entertain the troops for a minute? I'm going to put it on you, and I'm going to go grab sandpaper.
What? No, I can't entertain the troops. What are you talking about? Okay. You didn't pay me for that.
Hey, Debbie, help her entertain the troops. I'm going to go grab sandpaper.
Yeah. Debbie, most of what I have is the flower punches and butterfly punches.
Viewing pleasure, Debbie. Will stand that.
Great.
And Candy will be right behind her.
Yeah, no. I danced today with Chunky. That was it.
Oh, okay, wait a minute. Where's my sandpaper?
So, yeah, I cut out the butterflies from my gel prints that I don't like. Or magazines. I've got both. This one's another gel print. And I do have this label punch. And I do cut labels out sometimes from the gel prints and book pages and use those. And then I have this one corner punch and I love the design in it. So what I end up doing, I can make a doily with it. If
Nice.
The doilies
triangle
are
it.
great instead of having to buy them.
Fold them like that and just cut it in there randomly. And then it just makes a little square doily. And I guess there's different ways you can fold it too to get a better design, but I don't always remember the way to fold it. So I just
don't know how to fold, so
Yeah, I don't know how to fold those.
yeah, so I just do the square, like you did when you're in school with a corner to corner, and do it until it gets as small as you can get it. Because that's about the thickness I can get in my punch right there. Any thicker won't go in, so that kind of dictates how much you fold it. So, and then just punch around it and it creates a design.
You mean like a snowflake?
Yeah, kind of, sort of. And then you can even do it with your butterfly punch where it just makes a circle.
Monday's violence just by its existence. Monday jumpstart. Okay, let's see here. So this is the pack that I got. I want to say that I got this at Harbor Freight. I've had it for a while, so.
Sandpaper?
Yeah. Like, I don't remember for sure, but I think I probably did. And some of them are time for eye drops. Some of them are already gone, but this came, let's see, it came with 60, 100, 150, and 200. So or 220. I said 200, it's 220. So this is 220, and that's actually what I used before. Let's see, there was something that I used that needed or really could use sharpening. Which one was it? Which one of you needed sharpening?
Yeah, I was going to say our 2 hours is up too. Dang.
Yeah,
it did. It went quick, didn't it?
How fast that went. So fast. I don't know. This one doesn't, I don't know that it needs sharpening, but I'm going to try it with this one because that's what I used, the one out of this pack. So 220 is the highest it comes in this pack, so that's what I used. So now if it's a not all punches are of the same strength and quality. Does that make sense? So if it's a die that I think is maybe a little flimsier or smaller ones, kind of like this, I might even go buy some higher than 220. But for any of these good quality, heavy duty, heavy punches, I think this.
Who has over 200 punches?
Who has over 200 punches?
Margie? Probably Margie.
Probably.
Well, Debbie's probably close behind her with punches too.
No, no.
Margie does.
Like 100 punches. It's
Margie, we need to talk. There might be a couple punches I'll buy from you.
It's my dies that I'm a little
but
bit.
I don't need it. Yeah, I don't need a ton more.
Yeah.
Does anybody need a sandpaper?
Rebecca was here. She said, I might want to rethink it if I think about buying any more dies.
And you're like, yep, I'll rethink it, and I'll go, yep.
Until I see one I really think I gotta have.
I don't have any more wall space.
I'll make wall space. I'll do something. Yeah, my door space is out. I've went to the side of my paper storage, like I showed you. That gives me a little bit more, but then I was like, do I have a wall that's open? I can do like Debbie.
That's what I want. That would be very cool. Why isn't that going? Oh, because it's bent. There we go. I use this stamp quite a bit, so it could probably use sharpening. Sandpaper isn't flat on the edges. You have to wiggle it to get it in the dot or in the punch. Keep saying die.
Okay.
So.
And the sandpaper will make cute little embellishments too.
Yeah, it's kind of
'Cause
sandy.
they have texture and it.
Great texture.
Yeah.
You know that rusting stuff you have?
Yeah, this looks rusty, doesn't it?
Can you use that on the sandpaper?
It feels rusty. Oh, I don't know. Why not? I'm gonna put some. I don't know what chemicals are on here with the sand. I'm gonna try some. That's a good thought.
Yeah.
I like it. And this paper is gonna hold up a lot longer as stencils. So you could take it and cut it and strategically sharpen your punches so that you have specific designs of dies. Like, I don't necessarily want 4 stamps in a row, although I would have used a border of butterflies. So, because it's harder to cut between these once you do that. But yeah, strategically cut that to use it, because this paper is going to last a lot longer if you put it down. I wouldn't put the sandpaper on the gel plate. You could put that on the gel plate more. I would probably put it down and spray it through the sandpaper.
Yeah.
But I know there's tons of other ways to use them. We just hope we threw out a couple of ideas that maybe give you the opportunity to use your punches a little more than you are now. We know we can use all of our supplies a little more than we are. I have a friend here that would have over 200 dies. She makes cards for charity. Wow. Well, to over 200 dies? I thought you meant punches. That's a lot of punches. I can understand the 200 dies. Yep, can. Teresa started my collection of dies about 6 years. I punches 3 or 4 years. Nice. 12 drawers, so just figure they're at least 200. Yeah, Margie, I'm sure you've got at least 200. Yeah, you've been collecting for a while. Do either of you have anything to add? Would be an awesome time to add if there's anything else on your desk that we didn't talk about, technique or otherwise.
No, you covered most of them. All of them. I don't, like I said, I don't use my. I don't have that many punches though.
Yeah.
I have what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20. I have 20. That's all I got. I do dies more than I do punches.
Right.
I only got my round ones out because of that G curve video that she did with the
paper. And I need the different sizes is what I've got the 1 and 1.5 and the 2. I need the smaller ones. And the same with the oval. I need the bigger one. I wanted the bigger one. And then this die here, this punch here that's magnetic. I love this.
You put that in the middle of a paper. Punch out
Yeah. I love it.
That's cool. I have a couple like that. I have a circle like that.
It'd be great.
Yeah. A square and another one that's a design.
And it's a perfect size little butterfly and I use it a lot.
Cool. I'm glad to hear that. Any other input from any of the peanut gallery? Or questions for any?
No, that's them.
Oh, okay.
We're the hooligans. They're the peanut gallery. We're the troubled children. And they're the peanut gallery.
Oh my goodness. Oh, Teresa, 25 or so punches because you get them for cheap online. Nice. It's the way to get them, Teresa, when you can find them cheap.
Yeah.
Probably wow.
Most of mine have all come from Marianne
too.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Teresa, you got to start creating with them and post them all in the group.
She said she's the one's having trouble, and just PM one of us, and we'll try to help you through to get you through.
Yeah.
See what's going on.
Posted so far is awesome. If you haven't seen and you missed last Saturday night live, Teresa Church won the 3rd prize in Margie's Buck the System Challenge, and Karen Guthrie won the 2nd prize, and Candy won the 1st prize, and she decided to gift it forward on a random drawing, and Julie got it. So Julie gets a $50 shopping spree. So it was a fun night. It was a super fun night to give away all the prizes. Okay, guys, Thursday from 2 to 4 Mountain Time, Thursday afternoon is our mass make day. And we are going to mass make coin pockets or coin envelopes, the little tiny coin envelopes and reverse coin envelopes. So you'll come away with 2 different types of little envelopes, the mini envelopes, to have a stash of coin envelopes and reverse coin envelopes. So it was fun today. It went really fast. Really fast. I thought we would finish these and we would still have an hour left because they're a lot faster than some of the other things that we do. So just kind of glancing over the chat there.
Awesome. They got some great ideas.
Thank you, Sylvia. Okay, so today's hashtag Monday Jumpstart. Or I was using it upside down here now. Oh, here it is.
Paper punches.
Upside down. Monday Jumpstart. Hashtag Monday Jumpstart paper punches. Hashtag
and don't
Monday
forget to
Jumpstart
come back
paper
and
punches.
leave a comment and do hashtag 1000 subs. Sylvia put it in for you.
Yes. Thank you for that. Thank you for that reminder, Sylvia. If you put it in chat, it does not go into comments. So just know that you have to come back in. As soon as we end, you can come back in and leave a comment. And in that comment, put hashtag 1000 subs. And so you can get in the drawing. This box is getting kind of full. If it gets too full, over full, I might have to split it into 2. And then we might have to have 2 drawings. But, darn it all. As soon as we hit 1,000 subs, we're going to give away this box that I've been tossing things into. There's some cool stuff in there. There might even be a punch in there. Every time we do something, I go, what do I have in the stock that could go in relation to this? So Monday Jumpstart paper punches. We'll be back on Thursday for mass make. And come back in and comment hashtag 1000 subs. And thank you so much, Margie, for last month's Buck the System challenge, because that was super fun. A lot of people got out of their comfort zone and didn't use butterflies, flowers, and lace. And a lot of people made their first journal ever, or their first junk journal ever. And I was so impressed. There were some really, really great entries. So anyway, gotta run. Thank y'all. Have a wonderful day and stay curious.
Okay, love you.